About a year and a half ago, I wrote a blog talking about margin and space for new possibilities. At the time, I was having a landscape project done in my yard, and it was eliminating a lot of gardens and really simplifying the landscape. And during that process, I realized that by removing gardens, I was creating the space for new possibilities. Now, this is something that never had occurred to me. And in fact, I think in that blog, I talked about the idea that previously I thought mostly about trading. So if I don't spend my money here, I can spend it here. If I don't spend my time here, I can spend it here. I had honestly never given conscious thought anyway to the idea of creating space for new possibilities that was as of yet undefined. Now, this was very intriguing for me. It was a very new idea to me, and I have written periodically about it, and I've talked about it in videos. Earlier this year, I shared that I was once again digging back into this idea of margin and space for new possibilities, and that I would give you an update. So, the beginning of the year, I asked my mastermind, how do you think of margin? Because I have this desire for more margin, and yet I'm not entirely sure what that even means to me. Some of the things they said included white space daily in my calendar, to really manage my calendar in creating blocks of time, to limit creation where it matters most, to create joy, and that may include subtracting things. And then Mike, who leads the mastermind, said to me, almost everything you're talking about is doing things. And I thought to myself, he's so right. I've always known that I have this drive to get things done, to check things off my task list. I'm one of those people, in fact, I will admit that after I do something, I may write it on my list just so I can check it off. Very driven by that. I've come to realize I'm a planner by nature. Through the years of my career in education, I was very good at planning. That's how I got things done. That is how, probably in part, I controlled my world by planning. Now, this served me very well. I am a good planner. I enjoy planning. And yet, I think what I have learned as I've been on this journey of margin and white space is that planning is just one skill. It's not the answer to everything. And being focused on getting things done is, yes, important, and yet it's not, again, the answer to everything. So I think there is where my journey seeking this idea of margin and just white space for possibilities. So where am I today? Here's what I've realized. What I really desire is the freedom of time to do what I want, when I want, for how long I want, and with who I want. Now, 100% of the time, no, there's some things that just need to be done. And yet, that's really what I crave, is more of that, more of the space to decide in the moment, a little less planning, if you will. This morning was a great example. Get up. I have a black Labrador, Mimi. She's 3, and we typically go for a short walk in the morning for her to take care of business. And yet this morning when I walked out of the house, it's warmer than typical in Michigan this time of the year. The neighborhood was quiet, and we walked. We went for a 30-minute walk. Now, that hadn't been my plan, and generally not even my desire. I had the margin to do it. I have no appointments today. So when I walked out the door, and a walk just seemed nice in the moment, we took the walk. Can I have days that are really scheduled, well scheduled? Absolutely. And sometimes are they necessary? Sometimes are they even enjoyable? Absolutely. And yet what I find more and more is I want the white space for in the moment to stay in the moment. Sometimes it's to talk longer with a client because we're really at a good spot. And if we can just have a few more minutes, we can wrap something up. Sometimes it's to take a walk with Mimi or to sit and do nothing. sometimes I realize a quick meditation is really what I feel like. So margin and white space. It is creating white space, and I'm also learning that it's about how much is enough in my life. How many clothes do I want? How much of a house do I want? How many possessions? How many gardens? All of those things contribute, I am finding, to what I now realize is really my desire to have more agency over my time, to do what I want, when I want, how I want, and with who I want. So there's where I am on my journey of margin and space for new possibilities. I feel like I've got it a little better defined for myself, so now I'm off to continue playing in the quantum sandbox of possibilities as I explore exactly what this ideal margin looks like for me at this time in my life.